Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Just hello to everybody. Thank you for joining the Monday morning metamorphosis moment, where we're right here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for 15 minutes of your Monday morning metamorphosis moment. And I'm Andrea T. Martin, your life discovery expert, speaker, and coach. And it is my God ordained mission to help women with a painful past emerge from under that past and be who God designed them to be the beautiful butterfly that I know you are, to help you discover your wings. And so today is the final portion of The Black Sheep, the Chronicles of the Black Sheep. We started last week. I encourage you to go back and watch that video where we were talking about so many of us have labeled ourselves as the black sheep of the family. In fact, many of us, our own family, has labeled us as the black sheep of the family. Good morning, Amy, my AP. Good morning. Thanks for joining. And this was something that I labeled myself as. I labeled myself as the black sheep. And when God took me through my metamorphosis process, part of that process, and it was unexpected, it was an added bonus, really. Oh, thanks, AP. Was that as I went through my metamorphosis process and that transformation occurred, part of the healing was my relationships with my family also were healed, and they continue to heal and just get better and better. And I have to tell you, we love on each other. We're more connected today. Our family is it's done a 100% about face. And that was all, from my perspective, a part of my metamorphosis process. And so what happened with me is I spent a lot of time, you hear me talk about my mom. Yesterday was a year since my mom passed away. Today is 5 years since my dad passed away. So it's been a bit of an emotional moment, but it is the motivation that I'm using to talk about healing family relationships. And so again, I considered myself to be the black sheep, but I had to really come to, I had to admit that I wasn't really the black sheep. I had some black places in my heart. Good morning, Hope. Thanks for joining. I had some black places in my heart that I had to allow God to deal with. Again, it was a huge part of my transformation because I just, I had some issues and I had some anger and some bitterness, even with my mom. Again, I knew that my mom loved me, but I didn't feel that she loved me how I thought she should love me. And so I went about trying to impress my mom, thinking if I could impress my mom, maybe then she would love me because she would be proud of me. And some of you may have heard this story before, but I remember being in college where I wasn't really going to college, but I was pretending like I was going to class every day. And my mom was like, yeah, my daughter's, she's going to college. And so then, it came time for report cards. And I was like, oh, Lord, I don't have no report card because I ain't been to class, but I had been telling my mom that I had been to class. And what did I do? I went to an office supply store and got some fancy computer paper. And I got on the computer and I typed up a fake report card. And not only did I type up a fake report card, but I gave myself straight A's. Now, who does that, right? Could have at least given myself a B or a C. No, I gave myself straight A's. And my mom got the report card and she was so proud and she was bragging to everybody, saying, look at my daughter, she got straight A's. And one of the ladies that she showed this fake report card to was a senior official at the college that I was attending. And she was like, this isn't one of our report cards. And I was like, oh no, I was busted. But what happened was when my mom was being proud of me, I would take that to mean that that was love. So the first tip for today is you really have to understand and know what love really is. That is so important because my mom being proud of me is not necessarily love. So you have to understand what love is, unconditional love. And I had to begin to have unconditional love for myself so that I could receive unconditional love, not have love based on what I could do, how well I had done, love unconditionally. And I believe that if the family would love unconditionally, despite the past. And so for me, a very painful past, full of mistakes, full of guilt and shame. And because I had done that, I felt that my family didn't love me unconditionally, and nor did I love myself unconditionally. So again, understand what love really is, and don't let love be driven by what you do, what you don't do, how well you do something. Love your family unconditionally, and when you love your family unconditionally, you'll be able to receive love unconditionally, because it was very hard for me to receive love. I expected, my family to love me a certain way. I kept them in this box, and I knew that they loved me, but I didn't feel like they quite loved me, as I thought they should. And then the next tip is, and I believe I said this last week, but it bears repeating, I want you to accept the apology that you may never, ever receive. The truth of the matter is, there are some people in your family that will hurt you. They have hurt you. And you need to be able to deal with that hurt, because again, it causes you to have some dark places in your heart. And so accept the apology that you may never receive. You may have family that may hurt you. Some may know that they've hurt you, and some may, they may not know that they hurt you. So it's not intentional. Hey, Ashley, good morning. So it's not intentional. So you've got to accept the apology that you may never get. It's time to let go of grudges, and let's just begin to forgive and accept forgiveness. So if it's you that have caused the pain, you may need to go to a family member and ask for forgiveness. Or they may never come to you, but you just have to go on and accept the apology that you've never received. And then, as you all know, I always say, don't forget to forgive yourself. So that's right. Accept the apology that you may never receive. And I'm going to throw this in here too. I'm going to tell you thank you for everything that you've done for your family. Sometimes you can go through doing for family and helping family, and you may never get a thank you. And what do they say? And excuse me, I'm going to say it, hell may freeze over before you get a thank you for all that you do for a family member. Yeah, it's true. Allow me to say thank you, because if you keep waiting for that thank you and you never get it, it causes you disappointment. You don't feel like you're appreciated. And so, part of my wings process is pat your own self on the back. I'm telling you thank you. I want you to know that I appreciate you. So if you never hear it from your family, I appreciate you. And then you tell yourself, there's a song that says sometimes you have to encourage yourself. And so you begin to encourage yourself. If nobody ever encourages you or pats you on the back or says those two so simple words, thank you, you do it. And again, I'm thanking you. So thank you for all that you do for your family. Don't hold any grudges, because, I've seen families that have been like, now she owed me $25 that I loaned her 2 months ago, and she done drove up here in a new car. And she owed me $25? No, she didn't. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating a bit, because I do know some families that are like that. But you have to let the grudges go. It's not healthy for your heart. And again, if you don't deal with it at the root of the issue and eliminate it, it turns into bitterness and anger. And so you'll be smiling and looking all pretty on the outside, but just have darkness on the inside. And that adds to not just the black sheep, but black places in your heart. And as I said last week, we want to pray and ask God, create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. Ask God to search your heart, and anything that's in there that does not belong, ask him to show it to you. And how he showed it to me was he would take me through painful instances in my life where I had to go through some painful things in life. And through going through those painful things, I learned, Andrea, you've got some things in your heart that you need to release and let go and be free from, so that you can move on and soar and become that beautiful butterfly that God designed you to be. So again, you've got to accept the apology you never get, and forgive me. I'm not going in order. I have some notes here that I'm trying to read, but I just really want to talk to you from my heart, because this was such an important part of my metamorphosis process. My family relationships needed to be healed. That's right, Hope. Psalms 51, and I believe it's Psalms 51 and 10, create in me a clean heart. You have to give him permission to give you a clean heart. In order for you to be able to move on, you've got to get a clean heart. So I was calling myself the black sheep of the family, but I really had some black places in my heart. And so we've got to deal with that in order for you to begin to move forward and soar into your destiny. You can't do it from a place of bitterness. There's a scripture that says, can bitter and sweet come from the same fountain? So, around certain people, I was like, hey, how you doing? Oh, it's so good to see you. And then my family on the other side was seeing this. Listen, I'm not even ready for good morning. Or if I was having a bad day, or I was in a moody place, they was like, well, okay. So it was almost like I was schizophrenic, right? Because I was just so bitter and angry, and I didn't really know how to receive or give love to my family, to people in the workplace, I was just so wonderful, so nice, so loving, so kind. But because I had issues within my family, they saw a different side to me. The people who I knew loved me, the people who I loved the most, they were getting and seeing the worst side of me. And so I had to deal with those issues. I had to deal with them at the root. So again, I know I'm giving out pointers, and I may not recap them in the proper order or use the same words, but I just want you to accept the apology that you may never get. And I want you to forgive if you need to forgive, or accept forgiveness. Understand what true love really is. It's not what your family can do for you or what you can do for them. Understand what unconditional love means. Loving them in spite of their past, in spite of mistakes that they have made. And then I'm saying thank you to you today. You may never receive a thank you for all that you do for family. Pat your own self on the back, and you receive, encourage yourself. So that's so important. That's going to help you so that you're not disappointed when you don't get the appreciation that you need. Now, that's not to say that your family doesn't need to step up and appreciate you, but I want you to survive. If nobody ever says thank you, you encourage yourself. The Bible says, and David encouraged himself. I must be on a David kick because I keep talking about David. But I want you to get into the habit of encouraging yourself. If you never get a thank you, you encourage yourself. Thank you, Ashley. Good morning, Amber. I don't know if I said good morning, but good morning, Amber. So that's so important, because if you wait around for people to say thank you, well, sometimes that just doesn't happen. I'm just saying. Okay, and like I said earlier, you can wait till hell freezes over and people will never say thank you. So I'm telling you thank you. I'm saying that I appreciate you today. Oh, there's my friend Rebecca. Good morning. Love you. And so I'm appreciating you today, and you do the same thing. And then just ask God to search your heart and remove anything in there. You've got to get rid of that anger and that bitterness, because if you allow it to fester and stay there, it just grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And for me, it impacted all of my family relationships. Good morning, Adrian. My family, listen, I was jacked up with my family. I'm just going to say it. Both my daughters on here, they will tell you how I was. They knew that I loved them with all that was within me, but their mom was a little cray-cray. I'm just saying. I was a little cray-cray. So our relationships went through a healing. I have a brother, my little brother. Oh my gosh, I loved him so much. I love him so much. But oh my gosh, we clashed, we bumped heads, and my mom and I, we loved each other, but we didn't get along either. And so again, an important part of the metamorphosis process, my metamorphosis process of healing with family may look different from yours. You may be able to go to your family and sit down and have a conversation, and that's wonderful. But I want to prepare you in case you're not at a point where you can have that conversation. You look at you. You allow God to work on you and to fix your heart, and allow him again to create in you a clean heart and renew a right spirit within you, because that's going to help you. It's an important part of your metamorphosis process so that you can discover your wings and begin to soar into your destiny and be that beautiful butterfly that God has designed you to be. Listen, I want you to connect with me. I'm writing an ebook that's called The Chronicles of the Black Sheep. It goes into the black sheep much, much deeper. I want you to connect with me. If you're already on my email list, you're going to receive it. If you're not, shoot me a private message and just say, Andrea, I want to be on your email list so that you can get this ebook. It is guaranteed to bless you. For those of you that are dealing with the black sheep syndrome, labeling yourself, there are valid reasons why you may feel that way, and there may be invalid reasons. I talk about all of that in this ebook. Connect with me. I'm Andrea T. Martin, your life discovery expert, speaker, and coach. You are not the black sheep of the family. You are God's perfect creation. I appreciate you. I celebrate you. I encourage you to stop labeling yourself as the black sheep of the family, all right? That's your Monday morning metamorphosis moment. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to Bika for joining. Everyone for being on. We're right here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. You go out there, go be great, and take off that black wool and show your wonderful, beautiful butterfly heart. Bye-bye now.